go
says
back
I
to
have a right
Forest
to
Knoll
put the
though, what
damn
if somebody
sign up.
comes in with a,
Yeah.
with a 5 acre lot and they calling it phase subdivision, cause they're gonna build the buildings at different
Right,
times, like
Because it's
Forest Knoll.
condominiums.
Hmm?
Because it's condominiums, you see.
Yeah, I mean, so that's, I mean, we did have that, and that was called a phase subdivision, I'm not sure why, because,
Well, even in that case, he would still have to, the person, the developer would still have to come back in for a site plan review of those second, third, fourth, otherwise it's just a subdivision.
yeah, right,
If he got everything approved, then
then it's just a
then it's just
right.
a subdivision, it's not a phase, he can build them, he has 4 years to get that
Right.
development substantially complete.
Cause Forest Knoll had all the information for all 8 buildings.
Right.
And we still called it a phased subdivision.
Yeah, I think that was incorrect, I think looking at the
Yeah,
language here.
what he got was subdivision approval for Forest
For
Knoll,
Forest Knoll,
period.
yeah.
I'm
Right.
just not sure why we called it it was called a subdivision.
I probably, again, because they requested it that way because of this issue with the banks and condo docs. It's not a planning board problem, it's a
Right.
problem with writing your documents to meet the state requirements, I mean, and getting the money approved by the banks.
I have a question in regard to that. Mark, when, if you have a 5 acre lot and you're going to put 10 condominiums on it,
Yeah.
it has to go through subdivision approval because a condominium is a subdivision. I mean, it has to be subdivided.
Mhm.
Now, when you go to the registry of deeds,
Yes.
is there a plat plan for that 5 acre lot that's subdivided into 10 condominiums? What do you do for lot lines? I mean, it doesn't say.
There's no lot lines, it's the condominium documents that are recorded at the same time as the plat.
Right.
That say what the interests are in the land.
So
And
that,
then the assessors look at it now as 10 properties, if that's a 10-unit subdivision.
so that if this developer who did this project came to the planning board and said, I want to do this in phases.
Yeah,
First 2 buildings are gonna be phase 1.
right.
The plat plan that goes to the registry of deeds just shows those 2 condominiums
That's
Right.
correct.
on that 5 acre lot.
That's
And that is phase 1 approval. And then, because it really is it's a subdivision because of the condominiums themselves.
Well, in that case, there would need to be another lot line creating the lot around the first 2 buildings.
Would it be the
Right.
footprint of the building?
I don't know, you'd have to, I don't know legally what it would have to be, but you could not have the 5 acre parcel with 2 buildings on it.
I think you can.
You can, but
Yeah.
you run a risk.
Right, that's.
They
what-
have, nobody,
Developer.
the
developer
developer, you're
runs
right
a
though,
risk, yeah.
because if he doesn't build those other buildings within
land
X
reverts
number
to
of
the-
years,
Yeah.
then that, all
To the
that back
first couple
land
of owners,
goes to
right?
those first 2
Like
buildings,
the
and that's
one
what
by
happened at,
Athletic Center.
That's what happened down
Waterville
at
Place.
Waterville Place. They
Right.
own a chunk of land that
Yeah.
has nothing to do
And-
But
with
that's
that's
the only
permanent.
way it could be recorded as far as I can see though.
well, but no, he could draw a line that, say, took 1.5 acres of the 5 acres with the 2 buildings on it. Then those first 2 buildings only have an interest in the 1.5 acres. It could do it that way. Now, he's presented all 10 buildings to you,
That's up to the developer.
that's
how
up
we-
to the developer.
Okay, so he would have to show
That's right.
in the presentation to us where those lot lines are, and it would actually be a subdivision as we know it.
That's right.
Okay.
Right, well, this is right back to the same issue, which is, what he's doing is creating a 2-building condominium
Yeah.
document and complex. Now, he wants, when he does a lot line adjustment, what does he do with the condo? Does he dissolve the condominium documents and rewrite a new set of condominium documents covering the whole? I have no idea.
I don't
But
think you
Bill,
can do
I
that.
think-
I don't think you can
yes.
dissolve.
I think what he did was he wrote condominium documents that probably have
Had that
language
in
in
it.
it that the land can be added to, but I would have him show you that
Yeah.
in the documents. I
Oftentimes,
think
those
that's a legitimate
condominium
question.
documents have an awful lot to do with the developer.
Right.
And the declaration, I
The
think they call it, yeah.
declarations.
Yeah.
Right.
And the
And
owners,
boy,
yeah.
and it does follow the whole process of, until the developer is
I
off.
mean, there were condominium documents that Nancy and I signed when we bought our condo that gave the Waterville company first right of refusal if we
Yeah.
ever wanted to sell it.
That's
Yeah,
everything we
so
know,
it's
yeah.
true.
No, but I mean, so
Yeah,
there's a lot of language in there.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows what it says?
Do they give you copies of those condo docs,
Oh,
or you
yeah.
have them in the
Yes, they
file?
do.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Required to.
Yep.
In fact, I think you can find them, right? You can go to the state and
No,
probably.
we have
Oh,
them
we
can go to
here,
the
and
registry
they're at the
too.
registry.
That was part of
At
the
the registry.
They
approval,
have to
yeah.
be,
Yeah. I knew they had to
recorded
be
at the
registered,
registry.
but,
but I think that's a legitimate question to the developer when they come in for phase two. Show us in the condos where
yeah,
phase one owners know that this is gonna happen.
yeah.
Right.
Okay, well, I'll, come in with some sort of language for the new title. Anything else? Any other comments on this? Okay. Committee reports, town core group, we lost Wendy.
I can let you know that we were not successful on the TAP grant. We finished 41st out of 46 towns in the state.
Well, we're right up there.
Yeah, we were right there. We were
41st.
neck and neck.
Yeah.
Hey, we beat 5 towns, so that's awesome. There'll be no funding where Tiffany Hammond is trying to determine if we have the Our Town grant or not. So,
What's the difference between the two of those?
the TAP grant is the transportation grant that's
Right.
done by the State Department of Transportation.
Okay.
And that was specifically for the trails around.
Right, the
Corpus
trail
Right,
system,
Pond
right.
And out by the golf course. The Our Town grant is the signage and some trail improvement
Okay, gotcha.
and lighting and that sort of thing.
All right.
So we're still in the running as far as we know for the Our Town. And that, right now, we have planned to be, like it was last year, a separate warrant article. Because we didn't get it in 2016, we were able to erase it. Department of Revenue took it completely off of our tax rate calculations, so there was no impact at all because we weren't successful. So we would plan to do the same thing again this year if we don't know by town meeting. So I don't know what the town core working group is gonna plan to do now that we have not received TAP.
Okay, thank you, Mark.
So Terry, one more thing on old business.
Hmm?
I was looking at the horse barn, you know, the horse tent,
Yeah.
and it doesn't appear that they've been using it. And they've never put a fence around it, the
Yeah.
corral. Have they been using it?
I haven't seen the horses around very much this year, I don't know.
I haven't seen the horses at
Yeah.
all.
But there's no activity around, you know, there's no,
Yeah, the tent itself, no one's
This-
been in and out of the
there's
tent.
nobody's been in and out, there's no traffic.
So they erected the tent,
Mhm.
They didn't
that's it.
do the corral, they didn't put the fence up
They
that I
did
could
not.
see.
but there's no horse yet.
But I have not seen any signs of a horse, and I don't know if they're doing the
Yeah,
rides
Yeah.
on weekends.
I haven't seen them in town square or any
Signs
signs
of
of them as we usually have in town square.
Well, this year we've had snow awful early, and so, you know, it kind of moves everything up in your mind. I wonder if this is the time when they, I mean, do they normally do the
They're
sleigh
normally
rides in
there
December?
during
Christmas.
Christmas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You would
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that if they weren't there on Christmas week, they're
They're
not
not
intending
coming,
to do
yeah.
it. But
Right.
they don't have to do it,
Right,
right?
they don't have to, but the tent was up, but they never put the corral up, so.
Well,
Summertime, yeah.
technically, would they be in violation until the horse got here?
No, I don't think so.
Right. At the point in time, if they have a horse that they don't erect the corral, then I think we should let Mark know so he can act as
Yeah.
code enforcement officer to say, wait a minute,
Yeah, which is pretty
Approval
tough
was
now,
conditioned
now that
on
we got
this
3 feet
corral.
of
Yeah,
snow.
I mean,
Where's your
this
corral?
weekend's a big weekend.
but I would suggest that Sounds to me like they're probably not gonna do the horse.
Sounds to me.
I'll email Tim and find out.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think the amount of snow is an issue, because they could just groom it, right?
Oh, yeah, they
So,
can
yeah.
just take the snowmobile out there.
Could have the horse check in at town hall when it gets there. All right,
I have a question on old business as well.
yeah,
Could we continue the ongoing request for Conservation Committee to join us next month? Make sure someone is here to just let you know what's going on.
okay, a letter to them, you mean?
No, just, how'd you do it? Did you request anyone to be here today?
I don't know, how did we do that?
No, we have not requested them to be at any meeting, we just requested them to meet.
Yeah.
Um,
Could we get someone here next month?
Yeah,
Sure, what,
A
I think
member or-
if Terry can sign a letter to David and say, please come to the meeting so we can,
I think we should
Update us.
know.
we missed you
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
the January meeting, please come.
Yeah.
Do you mean for updated developments or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just so we
Well,
officially have something.
okay, so
Right.
you wanna request to David Olash to be at the next meeting, that you're saying?
Or a
member.
representative?
Yes.
Well, we've got a request to them for the wetland chapter of our master plan.
Well, that's one of the things you
That's
wanna talk
right,
about.
so that's an ongoing,
Yeah. So officially we have something down.
yeah.
Okay, Mary, could you remind me of that, so that we make sure we get that letter out? Any other old business? Okay, anybody, we got tickler file items, does anybody wish to move something up to a new business item for next meeting, or this meeting?
Can we just talk, is there a meeting next Thursday?
Yes.
Yeah,
What time is the meeting and how long do we anticipate that going on?
That's for the public hearing for the
Right.
zoning
Changes.
changes and,
and
8
the
o'clock?
and the CIP as well
Right,
now.
you gotta just adopt the CIP, that shouldn't be a really long conversation.
So we're starting at 8 o'clock?
Mary, could you send out a notice as a reminder to all of us, please? Thank you.
Is there, what's the minimum time for?
I guess it depends on,
meeting? Right.
yeah,
Well,
it's a
change-
public
Yes.
hearing, so
It's a
Tara,
public hearing, so you're gonna see.
Tara has to go
somebody
through and,
comments.
Right.
yeah, pretty much the whole thing. I would say it's gonna go at least an hour. And the CIP, I don't know, it depends on how much controversy there is there. You guys don't like what we did last time, so. Okay, so I'd figure on at least an hour anyways.
Okay.
Next
That is next Thursday, right?
Thursday. A week from today.
Okay.
yes.
Terry, the CIP,
No,
the selectmen get the budget on Monday, right? You vote on the budget on Monday, you said, at the 16th?
As far as I know, on Monday, Mark, aren't we voting on Monday what the capital what goes into into the capital plan?
We're voting on what's gonna go to the public hearing, so if there are any changes in the CIP, we could
Okay,
integrate them.
all right, there you go.
So my, we had talked about attending that meeting.
Yep.
So what time is the meeting?
10
Three.
o'clock,
10 o'clock?
10 o'clock on Monday.
Mary, can you shoot us an email to Terry and I?
Well, I'm gonna send out an updated budget.
Okay,
I'll
good.
just copy you and Terry on that
Okay.
as a CIP.
Thank you.
We're talking about this coming Monday, right?
Yeah.
This coming
That's
Monday.
correct.
Yeah,
That's the 16th.
yeah.
Okay.
Do you need a motion to adjourn? Or?
I could use one.
I have a quick question.
Oh,
Sorry.
No, that's right.
It's probably to Mark. Sidewalks, we have some sidewalks that are not being plowed. Can you tell me why?
you
We're
know,
supposed to be
where
a
are they?
family-friendly town, and it's not, it doesn't seem
Where,
friendly. to me.
what, because there are some sidewalks that we haven't been plowing for a couple of years, just because they are too narrow for the tractor.
Which
Yeah.
ones are you talking about?
Which ones are you talking about?
The one, well, it goes now by Green Peak, and then it stops.
Yes, that's
Right.
one of them
Yeah.
that we don't maintain.
The one that goes in the back of Black
It goes
Bear
in the
can't
back of
be
Black Bear.
maintained.
We have not been
Dangerous.
maintaining that for several years.
Why?
Just, well, because it is too narrow, the trees have grown in and we can't get the tractor
Yeah, I think that you probably
into
should.
it.
So we can't do something about that in the summertime?
Yeah.
No, we don't,
Get 'em all.
Wasn't
we
there,
have not updated
What is
that
it? Well,
sidewalk. And,
It's a
and that's been on purpose, we have
We
talked
don't want a
about-
sidewalk there anymore?
there was talk about changing it.
Nobody, when we maintained it, nobody uses it. They walk out in the road anyway. So we have
She wants to be
concentrated
minutes,
on
it should be.
widening, pushing back the snow further onto the sidewalk.
Yeah,
Making it wider so that people
So the
can
board
walk
has to make
where they
minutes.
walk anyway.
yeah.
So it was really driven by the use, because when we were, clearing it with the sidewalk tractor, people were still out in the road. And we weren't able to push the snowbanks back because we were clearing the sidewalk, so we just,
The other part of that too was that because of the trees on both sides, it got very icy.
yes,
We've picked up a
it's
few
not easy
people.
to
No.
clear out, it's shaded and you don't, it's pretty dangerous in,
Yeah, I see that point, but a lot of people are walking on that road from Osceola
That's right.
to Best Western.
but they are walking on the road.
They're walking on the road, but it just doesn't quite seem like they're pushing that snow back far enough.
All right, I'll talk to Jim about widening that out.
Okay.
Well, that walkway is actually on private land, isn't it?
The
Part of it-
sidewalk itself is on
It's
Black
off
Bear.
property.
Do we have, do you know, is there an easement?
I was gonna say that.
There
Has to
is,
be.
I believe we looked this up several years ago, and there's an easement across there, but there's, the easement, I think, is just to maintain that
area.
area
So I don't
where
think
it's
it gives us a
identified.
right to
It's-
expand the
No,
trail or something
That's
like
right,
that.
and that was the problem, was we couldn't make it wider in there because of the easement.
One of the recommendations was to take that grassy, non-grassy, where it
Right.
doesn't grow,
Mhm.
and pave that and make
Pave
that the
And make
walkway.
it wider, a wider paved area, and stripe it as a pedestrian.
And then you could plow with the
Then you
plow.
can plow.
So is that talk,
But
or is
that's-
that a possibility?
Well, no, it's just been talk, because when you do that, you gotta change the drainage and everything else, and that'll take changing easements, and it's the same thing that we've been talking about with, Tecumseh Road and the village condos. You know, we have the same problem there with people walking in the road.
Right.
The problem is our road easement ends 2 feet off the edge of pavement. So we
I-
don't have a lot of room to work with.
I think this goes back to the core group, which I know is not here today, but now that the grant has been turned down, I think I'd ask them, okay, folks, what would you recommend we do? We're not gonna get public funding for this, so what would you recommend we do? The problem still exists,
Right.
that we don't have, in some cases, pedestrian walkways. See what they come up with.
Walking the road.
Well, either that, I think well, then maybe we ought to, over a 10-year period, commit to building these ourselves. That's an option. Or, no, forget it, we'll just stay with where we are.
Well,
Hmm?
do you wanna bring that up as an item next meeting?
No,
Okay,
not me.
John? No?
Well, I'm
Uh,
hoping
planning
that the
board
town
has a
core
planning board.
group, you know, when they meet to discuss this, we'll talk about, okay, where do we go from
I
here?
Yeah,
just
the
do
town, the
think-
town core group, if we put that in the minutes, we'll remember.
Right.
I do think it is an issue, especially all year long in the summer.
Well, it's a huge issue.
So why?
It's a
During the
huge
big-
issue.
During the big snowstorm, our plow trucks were going 3 miles an hour because people were walking in front of them and wouldn't get out of the way.
Yeah,
And people were riding fat tired bikes in the middle of the road during the blizzard. You know, I mean, it is definitely something that we need to address.
another real dangerous part is by, where Stone's building, that corner right there.
That it is,
It's a very
we've looked
dangerous
at that
spot.
entire road and we've talked to village condominiums, they do not wanna give us easement to expand, because that's the side we would have to expand the width of the road.
I thought they
Yeah.
did. I was talking with Leslie. I thought she showed interest in that. I could be wrong.
Off and on.
Okay.
They've said yes, they've said no, they've said yes. And it's not inexpensive because it's not as easy as just paving an extra
Right.
4 feet or 5 feet or whatever. You've gotta put in culverts and you've gotta do the drainage right or you're just gonna have problems with it.
Maybe we could bring this up sometime later and, I mean, it is part of the town study that we paid for, so maybe Bill's comment is the way to go. Bring it up in front of,
Well, I would hope it doesn't die just because we can't get public funding,
yeah.
funding from the state. I think it's still an issue.
It just seems to be something we're overlooking and not bringing up, but anyways, my thoughts.
Well, Nancy's on the town core working group, so
Yeah.
she can bring it to the next meeting.
And I'm sure that that'll be part of it, is what do we do next now that,
We don't have,
yeah,
Yeah, okay,
so that's the next logical step.
all right, thank you.
Okay, Nancy, you have something to bring up?
And this goes back to the first old business, the review and discuss budget for North Country Council's assistance with zoning ordinance, I think. So I have a text from a community member, Chris Beerbreyer, who couldn't be here physically today, but is watching. Watching, planning, and have concerns, RE statements regarding burying the $10,000 so voters don't know the amount to assist parking issue. This is a public meeting allocating public money. Voters need to be able to ask questions regarding this issue or this concern. I would urge the board to reconsider and be prepared to explain the need beyond the $90,000 already used for pedestrian project. I'm not suggesting it isn't warranted, but rather that you all need to be informed and comfortable with explaining the rationale to voters. Frankly, I'm not sure it is legal as a member of a town committee to suggest burying such requests. Please share this with your committee as you see appropriate. Thank you. She also wrote, I also know a transportation consultant. Len may be able to suggest someone as well. And then I had did everybody hear that? Is it should go in the minutes? I responded, burying was not the best choice of wording. Putting this relatively small amount in the budget to assist the volunteer planning board deal administratively with accurately writing our technical state mandated regulations on a topic that eats up so much of our time and has been unresolved and needing resolving for so long, is, I believe, wholly appropriate. Then Chris commented, again, I am not suggesting it shouldn't be allocated, but folks should know you need the funds and why.
it will,
Before we discuss this,
Yeah.
We don't really have a process for taking comments by phone or text.
Yeah,
I
I don't really know the
what
answer
do
to
we-
that. If somebody can't physically be here and is watching.
Yeah, I know, but do we have a process to handle that? Which I don't think we do.
I don't think we do, but I think we probably need one as the world
Sure.
has moved
Forward.
and
There is something.
we are
Well, and-
electronically.
And that's a good point, because there's something that this board has never had, that other planning boards do have,
Right,
is a standard operating procedures manual. Just a set of how you do things.
we do.
How do you,
Yeah.
you have one?
We have rule,
You
yes.
have rules? So, I've never, I don't know where they are. I mean, we can find them in the town files, but I
I'm afraid
think-
you're not the only one who doesn't know where they are.
well,
But we do.
But I think that just reviewing those and maybe
Yeah.
putting something in for how to handle
Yeah,
electronic, how to handle folks who are watching right now if
Yeah.
they want to, you know, how to handle emails between yourselves, you know, when it's appropriate, when it's not, all of that is good, information for you guys to
Yeah.
have. So we'll pull out those rules of.
yeah, we should have some guidance on how to handle that. And-
Yeah, is
Yeah,
that something to
but
add to
let's-
our list for
let's-
Tara?
Also, let's clarify here that you've made a request that the selectmen set aside $10,000 for you.
Yeah.
It is the selectmen's decision to first of all decide whether they're gonna support that or not.
Right,
And to where to fund it from. They can choose to put it in the budget, they can choose to put it in a special warrant article.
That's correct.
I certainly have heard Chris's, and I will share with the other selectmen that Chris has requested that an item like this should be a special warrant article.
Oh,
so
no,
that
that's not
people-
what she said. She said that we should just mention it.
It will
Well,
be.
right,
Not
well,
that
or
she-
highlight it
she
or
did not
something,
state
right, no.
how we
But
should-
our mechanism for highlighting an item is to make it a special warrant article. For instance, just to give you an example, there is a line item that was discussed on the budget as to whether to fund the 50th anniversary of the name town and have a celebration next summer. And the decision was made that the request for those funds will be a special warrant article, not put in the budget. Because that way, people can get a chance at town meeting to discuss it. So, I will share, and then the selectmen, but I believe it's the selectmen have to decide, A, do they support it or not, and then B, where do you put it?
And to Chris's question, even if it's in the overall operating budget of the town, there is still a very clear budget, 2-page budget summary that has planning and zoning. And if you put in, if that's where it gets put in, the $10,000 is going to show very clearly, because you're gonna be going from 3,500 to 13,500. And so that, it's very easy for people to see that. And we
See
can
the-
highlight it at the budget
They
hearing.
change.
You know, so even if the board doesn't decide to put it as a special warrant article, it's still very easy to see
Okay.
in the overall budget.
I think it was just a bad choice
It's
of
just
words.
Yeah.
Yeah, bad choice of
Well,
words.
and Bill's right, we don't get a lot of discussion about that big warrant article.
Right.
So you would have to physically highlight it and show
Right.
people,
Mhm.
to get some discussion on
The history has been
it. Yeah.
that people do not attend budget hearings. I mean, we're lucky to get a handful of people that show, I mean, a handful, less than 5 is typical. So they don't get a lot of discussion, you know, if it's in the budget.
Right.
Now, you know, I mean, that's what it is, but certainly people could come, and make a comment. But I'll pass her comments on, to the selectmen.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? Motion to adjourn.
I already made a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, meeting adjourned. Cindy, you and I,
Yep. She wants.
Less than an hour and a half.
yeah, not bad.
Supposed to have a 3-hour mark.
you got the rules of procedure? No.
Certainly within the planning board's purview to discuss its budget for requesting from the select.
Requesting, yeah,
Consider
the
raising the
planning
budget.
board can only
I'm actually
request
gonna figure
funds.
Right.
It is only the select people in the town that
Who's
can
actually
actually
the
approve.
power to do it.
Smart person who's very careful.
Yes, it is, don't sit on my coat.
Signs on the trail.
Which needs its own chair at all times.
Yeah, that I think perhaps he was reacting to a comment made that.
Oh, yeah, that it gets
that-
buried.
yeah,